What up, world? This is your boy, the comedian Leger, and today on Where in the World is the Comedian Leger, we're at the Colored Women's Club for Founders Day 2025.
I'm not Anzhane Slaughter, but I am Anzhane Slaughter's mother. My name is Jelena Mathis, and it is an honor to be able to introduce this beautiful, talented, amazing, and all my mother, so I'm going to just go over the top here. But I'm so proud of Anzhane. She is actually just a role model for young black women today. Anzhane graduated from the University of Washington with honors in 2018 in pre-law and Justice Society. She's actually planning on going back to finish to get her law degree to be a lawyer, going back to school in 2026. So I'm so proud of her. And she is a realtor with RE/MAX for the past, 6 years now? 6 years with RE/MAX. But she's also the founder and entrepreneur of Young Black Homeowners. And so this was founded in 2022, right during the pandemic. She launched this amazing business to help families, BIPOC families. If you're looking for a home, Anzhane is the one to get you your down payment assistance, anything to reach out to our families. I taught her since a young age, young, black, gifted, okay? Just like James Brown taught us and many of our leaders, civil rights leaders and others that we look up to. And here are our own role models here from the passing on from generation to generation from the Tacoma City Association of Colored Women's Club. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring up my daughter, Anzhane Slaughter.
Thank you, Mom. Clap it up for my mom, everyone. So supportive, definitely has instilled the right value system of giving back, of education, of fighting for what's right, not giving up, not taking no for an answer, okay? Amen. If there's a will, there's a way to have faith. No matter what you see in front of you, sometimes you gotta walk by faith and not by sight, right? Especially in this economy, in this world that we're living in, on a political level, on an economic level. I mean, there's a lot happening. So I just first want to thank the Colored Women's Club for always shining a beacon, being a beacon of light in a tough time. We want so much here in this city, in this zip code, in this state, that we wouldn't be able to get through without villages of support like Colored Women's Club. So thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth, for organizing events like this for us to all come together, and to our elders as well. Thank you guys for leading the way. As my mom mentioned, my name is Anzhane Slaughter. I do public speaking. I talk all the time. I'm a top producer in the real estate industry. I've actually been fully licensed real estate broker since 2017. But prior to that, my background's in law and policy. So I was working on the state level, helped push for funding, for programs for our community, for the betterment of our communities in a lot of different ways. I actually served as a legislative task force manager of the Social Equity and Cannabis Task Force, which has brought $200 million to community since 2023. Can we clap it up for our state? Okay, for the advocacy that's happening on the legislative level. And why are we talking about real estate? Why is this important? Because honestly, this is the #1 way to build wealth in this country. It has been. This is not new information, but unfortunately this information is not taught in schools. And if your family doesn't come from a background of wealth, then often a lot of this information goes right over our heads. And that is my story. Honestly, my mom raised my brother and I in a single parent household where we relied on government assistance to make it. We didn't know anything about purchasing a home. We didn't know anything about wealth building. Didn't know anything about credit, or at least we didn't talk about it at the dinner table. So I often grew up without information on how to build wealth. But one thing that my mom did instill in me was education. You get an education, that can be your way out of this environment. And I listened to her. I was one of those people that I didn't have to touch the stove and get burned first. I just listened, and I got a full ride academic scholarship to the University of Washington, where I studied law. And now I'm able, you know, as a CEO and founder of Young Black Homeowners, as a business owner, I'm able to bring resources to our community. I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without an education. So to the young kids out there, you want everything that you want, get your education. I will always say that. Because it was actually at UW where I learned about real estate. And I didn't learn about it from a business perspective, I learned about it from an equity perspective. I learned about the policies that historically have excluded our communities from wealth building opportunities. I learned about, you know, within these policies, how they have further impacted and have a continued impact on our lives today. You know, without wealth building opportunities, we don't have the capital or the sums to be able to invest today. We often don't have the opportunities to retire. You know, sometimes a lot of people within our communities, within my own family, are working past 70 years old in order to just make it. And that's not what's going to keep us living. That's not what's going to give us the quality of life that we all deserve. That's definitely not going to give us the health outcomes that our community needs. And we all know that our community faces different challenges in all of these areas. Well, wealth building, real estate is a pathway that we all actually have access to. And working with first-time homebuyers, and I've been working it for the last 8 years with first-time homebuyers, a lot of us are closer to homeownership than we even know or even believe, but we often let our trauma or our fear of rejection prevent us from taking those first steps to actually building wealth. So I want to first inspire you all that you're in the best position now and in Washington State than anywhere else in this country to make homeownership a reality to you. And the reason being is because we have a lot of programs on the state level. I mentioned that I have a real estate education company because I know education is key when it comes to being able to purchase homes, but I also know resources are very important. So since 2022, I've been going after funding on the state level, and we've been successful in receiving almost $5 million in down payment assistance towards Black and brown communities. That's happening right now. Right now, we have a program where you can get up to $150,000 in assistance, and we're able to couple that with other programs that are happening on the state level, like the Home Covenant Act. So I want to take just a little bit of time. Ms. Marsha asked me, please share with our community about what's out there, and that's what I'm here to do. So a little bit about the Home Covenant Act. This is a statewide program, so if you guys have family or friends that are in Spokane or that are up north or even further south, they too can take advantage of this program. So please make sure you share this information. But the Home Covenant actually came out of legislation. This is a down payment assistance program that offers up to $150,000 towards your down payment of your first home and pays for your closing costs. Now, this is remarkable where, I mean, up 20% covered down payment, that removes all of your extra mortgage insurance. That's going to help lower your monthly payment. That's really going to give you an opportunity to get into a home that you likely on your income alone can't qualify for today. So, and the reason where this funding came from, it's out of the advocacy work due to local groups here within our cities, within our state, that have fought against the racial-based covenants. So, if you guys don't know, covenants is just another word for private contract between neighbors. There's a lot of neighboring contracts called these covenants that prevented the resale of your home to someone of African descent. They also prevented the resale of your home to someone of Native American, Pacific Islander, and Korean. So this is not just for Black people, it is also for these other protected groups. But because it is something that is addressing the harm done by racial-based covenants prior to the Fair Housing Act, this is for families that have been here in Washington State prior to 1968. So that's really the only two eligibility requirements. Your family, whether it was your parents or grandparents, they were here in Washington State prior to 1968, and we can track that. We do have to find some sort of documentation to verify this. So we're using birth certificates, death certificates, yearbook records, military records, anything that can place you with a Washington address prior to 1968. You and your family qualify for up to 20% down and the closing costs. This program has just been improved out of our most recent legislative session, where now if you make under 80% area median income for your household size, the loan is forgiven. That's free money that you do not have to pay back, you guys. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to get into your home, to have a lower payment. You stay in there for 5 years. If you go to sell your house in the 6th year, all of the equity goes back to you. You do not have to repay it to the state. That's how the program is now structured, which again, we're the first in the country to have any sort of down payment assistance program like that, so really take advantage of it. If you know anybody that could qualify, let them know. Because there's people that are hating on this program. There's still people that ask us, why do you deserve that money? Why can't I, you know? And the reality is, if our families were able to purchase the desired homes decades ago when they were only $20,000, then we would have the equity today to give the $100,000 to our families instead of having to advocate for it. But the state recognized their place in the harm that was done to our communities, and this is how they're addressing that harm. With that being said, those haters are, you know, our state is prepared for the challenge. They're prepared for the lawsuits that are going to come. So don't let any scare, you know, this program is not going away. The funding is not going to run out. There was an initial allotment of $80 million into this pot so that we could have sustainability to the program. And now we have an additional $100 recording fee for every real estate transaction, whether you're black, brown, yellow, or green. You have to pay $100 to this pot in order to keep the program going. So it is sustainable, and it's helping people get into homes. I'm personally helping buyers every day. I just had 3 closings last week where we're using this program, and we're also layering them with other programs. So my company, we've applied for some grants. That $5 million, that's separate from the Home Covenant Act. So we're actually able to layer $100,000 on top of what the state is able to offer. So we're helping people with $200,000+ towards the purchase of their home that is either forgiven, partially forgiven, or you don't have to repay it for 30 years or whenever you go to sell your house. So you know that it's not impacting your monthly income, which is what really matters for our community, is keeping our bills low. Because we also know there's occupational segregation, and we're not paid the highest in the state either. So there's a lot of programs. There's also, I brought these pamphlets because there's just a lot of advocacy work that's going on. I serve as our local president of the Seattle Young Realtors Division, which is also an affiliate of NAREB. I don't know if anyone is familiar with NAREB, but NAREB is an acronym for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. We're the premium network of black real estate professionals, founded in 1947 down in Tampa, Florida. And at that time, black professionals, whether you were a lender, a broker, even an appraiser or an inspector, were not accepted or welcomed into the larger real estate industry. We were not allowed to be members of the National Association of Realtors. So at that time in 1947 in Tampa, Florida, a new separate organization was created, which was NAREB, which is here to give our community a place where we can do business together, where we can share information together and legislate for democracy and housing. So it's organizations that are historic, like NAREB, that helped bring the Fair Housing Administration and fair housing policies, and to get rid of, redlining on paper, and, to just move the needle for us as a community. We still face challenges within the real estate industry. Appraisal bias is very real, where as a black homeowner, you can go to sell your house and the value of your home will come back less than the value of your white counterparts, right? So we're still fighting today to make sure that there's democracy in housing. There is bias within underwriting, and why black borrowers are denied at a higher rate than white borrowers, even with higher credit scores and better income. So we need to be fighting, especially in an administration like where the clock is rolling back on, it seems like, progress that has happened for hundreds of years. So without organizations such as NAREB, and in our over 100 chapters, we have a local chapter here as well in Western Washington that is fighting to make sure that black borrowers have black lenders and black professionals that can make sure that you're getting the quality of service and care that we all deserve while going and trying to build wealth. Because at the end of the day, that's what our community needs. That's what's going to bring the stability for our families. That's what's going to stop displacing us out of communities and allow for a future that we all can look forward to rather than be scared of, right? So one of the big things that we're doing on our area, there's the Black Home Initiative. You might also hear it as B.I.C. This is a large network of over 120 organizations. My company, we're a part of them, but this just shows the large movement that's happening here in Washington State. There was about $4 million in seed money that came out of JP, Chase, and Morgan, big Chase Bank, to make sure that this network reaches our goals. Our goals are to see 1,500 new black homeowners by 2028 and 3,000 new black homeowners by 2033. This means that we're not just looking for people that are mortgage ready, that we're here to help people get mortgage ready so that they can become homeowners, because the reality is homeownership just doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen in 2 years if you start today. If we build a plan, get you connected with the right people, or even less than that, right? So on the back of these pamphlets, there's a QR code. You can scan that QR code and it's gonna put you straight to a portal, a resource center, if you will, where you'll be directed. Everybody's at different points in their homeownership journey, because this is very much a unique pathway and journey for us all. So some people that might need credit repair in order to get approved. Well, you talk to the housing counselors, they'll connect you with trusted and verified credit repair specialists that can help you, reach that goal, right, and getting to that benchmark. If you're looking for down payment assistance, again, there's everything that you need along the way from A to Z. Just check out the QR code. I have a stack of these. I'm happy to hand them out afterwards. I also have some business cards if anyone out there is interested, or know somebody that you just, your real estate professional is really your key into this industry. Do not do this by yourself. We are the front lines. We often have the resources with the lenders to trust, with the appraisers to trust, the inspectors to trust. The reality is this is a predominantly white industry, and not everybody is here to serve our community. So, but relationships is everything. That's what's gonna make your pathway, your process, the less stressful, because life is going life. We all got families and kids and problems. Those probably, aren't gonna change. We don't wanna make this another stressful thing on top of everything else. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. Work with the people that want to work with you, that want to see you win, because not everybody cares, okay? It's just the reality. And I'm here to answer any questions if we have time. I don't know. Okay. Well, maybe afterwards, come and get your pamphlet and maybe a business card. Thank you.
As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.